Hello, my name is Mike Petrovsky. Welcome to my channel forevermanual. And since you watch unfamiliar face on unfamiliar channel, that means you and me, we share something in common. We share the interest to Base Cayman 718s. I've been struggling to find any useful information on them on YouTube. I watched it all and yeah, there is not much to see. Today I'm getting myself one of these and I decided, yeah, why not to run a series of short videos about it, and maybe someone will find my point of view interesting, not only because I own the thing, but also because I happen to be a modern journalist for almost 20 years, car journalist. So welcome to the channel. These videos, they will be uploaded occasionally, so please subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. Today we're picking up the car. I'm saying we because over there behind the camera is Jan Koolmans. He's Belgian and he's basically taking care of my English because it's not my native language. I'm Russian. We're in Moscow. Yes, it's -20 outside Celsius. It's a quarter-meter deep snow on the street, and yes, I'm buying the 718 as the daily driver. So yeah, that car will have it all. So each episode will be dedicated to a particular issue. In this episode, I will explain in the reasons behind my decision of buying 718, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about the spec, but we'll actually get into details sometime later. As a car journalist, I drove pretty much all the Porsches that you have in the model line today. So I am familiar with the brand well enough to actually put my money on it. Somehow recently I realized that my personal vector and the vector of the developing of the brand, they somehow not aligned anymore. You see, my ultimate goal was always having 911, but after driving latest recent 911, 992, I just realized that I don't see myself in one. Somehow I feel that this car is out of sync. You see, it's still very technical, it's still very mechanical, an analog car, but the driver is put into this digital environment with all these digital dashboard and touch screens and all these shiny bits of plastics inside. Somehow it doesn't speak the design language that I appreciate. I'm sort of stuck with the design idea of the previous generation, of 991 generation. Of course, I would love to buy a 911, but then I want the car to be specified the way I want it. You remember the channel calls forevermanual, so I want the manual gearbox in the car. I want rear wiper, and who buys that? So I decided that's okay, for the beginning, my very first private owned Porsche will be the new car. And then I have no alternative except 718, because that's the only car in the model range right now, apart from Macan, which I don't see myself in, that speaks the design language I appreciate. And what I've done actually, I bought myself an interior I really want to be in, because this is just what this car for me about. It's about this feel of quality that era of Porsches is known for. Apart from leather interior, which is probably the most expensive part in the option list, my car is very basic. It has 18-inch wheels, it has passive suspension with no adaptive dampers. Even mirrors don't have motors in them, so I have to fold them manually. And of course it has a manual gearbox and 3 pedals. So it's plain as a plywood, and there is a good reasons for it. First, it's a great value for money. Not only within 718 range, but actually throughout the Porsche model line. And then there is a second reason, way more significant. This is the purest 718. I have a long-time relationship with Porsche engineers, and their message is always the same. If you want the best Porsche, get the base one. Because the greatest challenge is to make this one work. I mean, of course, you can throw in some more power, you can add some electronically controlled dampers, you can throw in some torque vectoring. But if this one works, the rest of them do as well. So this one is basically the closest you can get to an original idea that has been put into the project by its creators. It's not a car to brag about. Journalists didn't like it. They always say it's only important for Chinese market. But somehow recently it started to make sense again. Because you see, after the launch of GTS 4 liter with natural aspirated flat 6, S model, which sits in between this base one and the GTS, is obsolete now. There are actually two key points within the 718 range now. The 4 liter GTS, which you wouldn't buy to use all around, drive in snow with 18-inch wheels, and this one. And look at the ground clearance. I mean, this is a great car to not care about depreciation, to use it the way I'm going to use it. I'm not trying to convince you to go for the base 718 because, to be honest, I don't know if it's any good yet. I did drive one of those some time ago, but I haven't driven mine yet. So this is still a question, will it work for me? Let's find out. Basically, I invite you to join me for this adventure, for this experience. If you're interested, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, one more thing. Despite being a professional journalist and a long-time presenter for TV programs or for YouTube videos, I never done this personal blogging thing. And I have to thank people who inspired me to start this project. People like Nick Murray. If you haven't seen his videos, please give him a shot. It's a great example of a car enthusiast and a brand ambassador in the best sense of the word. These guys, they're not professional, they're not journalists, they're not from industry, they're not a motorsport people. They just share the passion for a brand. So yeah, thank you to all the people who do it with passion. You're really an inspiration for me.